Hi everybody, we are very pleased to have Mr. Ming Thien here from Ming Watches, founder of Ming Watches, and the mad scientist behind all of these wonderful pieces. Ming, you have an incredibly illustrious career developing some of the most interesting watches in the marketplace.
Thank you.
Not just design-wise, but also like materials-wise, because materials are a very important thing to you.
Definitely, it's a tactility thing.
Exactly, right.
Yeah.
A tactility thing, a wearability thing. The Armoury is hosting you for a pop-up shop
Thanks
right
for
now.
having us. Yeah. It's always a pleasure to be in Hong Kong.
I'm super glad. This is your little Ming corner.
I love the new space. I have
Thanks,
to
man.
say congratulations with what you do with it. It's
Thanks, man.
fantastic.
I appreciate it. At the pop-up shop, because you just launched this yesterday,
We did.
you have the new 37.02 Minimalist.
Yep.
And you also have a bunch of other models that are available for viewing,
Yep.
available to purchase.
Yes.
We don't have stock here, but
No.
you can deliver.
Yes.
But we do have stock of this.
Yes.
So people can come in and
Yep.
buy it and walk away with it immediately.
And it's the first time we've done this actually since the very first watch. We've been caught up in this cycle of people going, "Can I pay you in advance for a watch? Can I pre-order a watch? Can I do this?" And we used that to satisfy demand in a way. But now I think the market's coming back to the point where it's nice to be able to go, "I see something, I want it, I'm going to take it home with me." So that's what we've tried to do with this. And yes, we have stock.
Okay, now to the meat of this video.
Yes.
Congratulations
Thank you.
on this, on the 37.02 Minimalist.
Thank
It's
you.
a fabulous watch, it's a fabulous design. Tell us, what is this? What makes it special? Why is it so important in the world of Ming? What is this watch all about?
If you had to take every single one of our core design elements and philosophies and distill that into a single piece, that would be the Minimalist. Basically, we started off with a watch that was supposed to be the everyday quintessential piece that, you grab it and you go, and it serves you in every situation.
Yeah.
And every so often we tried to do an evolution of that. So we had the ultra thin, with the flying lugs, the 2701, 2702. We had the 1901s. We had the anniversary mosaic. But every time we make one of these, I think of it as like, what have we learned in the preceding years? 8 years now. What have we learned in the preceding years that we can put into a piece that basically is at home anyway? That's the idea behind it. You can wear it with a suit, you can dress it up with a bracelet, you can dress it down with a rubber strap, you can swim with it, you can even scuba dive with it, to be honest, because it's 100-meter water resistant. It doesn't have a finicky screw-down crown. It's automatic, so you just grab it and go. You don't have to wind it every day. It doesn't have a calendar function, so it's not a pain to set. And yet it carries all of our core design elements and nothing else. It's got the flared lugs, it's got the signature luminous material, it's got our signature indices. I think that if you can see across the room that it's one of ours, then we've done our job, because I hide the logo as much as possible all the time.
Oh, I mean, it's unmistakable.
Yeah.
Like the little guy at 12 is obviously the little guy right behind us here.
Yeah.
A couple questions, because there's quite a few things I noticed on this that I just think are so outstanding.
Yeah.
Firstly, the loom on the minutes track is unusual, right?
Yes, it is.
That's a big deal for you.
It is. So this dial is actually unusual in itself, because the dial is sapphire, metallized on the back, so that we have this inky black presence that then under certain light, it basically flips to a silver mirror. And that, I think, is really important, because having a watch that's not dynamic gets boring after a while. You want to have a piece that the more you live with, it kind of rewards you for observation.
Exactly.
That's really important for everything we do.
100%.
And this sticks to that core philosophy. So we've taken everything we've learned with working with sapphire, carving channels into it, filling it with luminous material, and put it into this guy. The luminous material itself is something that, as a watch geek, I've wanted to do for a long time. Take that back. As a watch geek and a physicist, I've wanted to do for a long time. Luminous material, at least modern luminous material, is something called strontium aluminate, which basically it absorbs ultraviolet radiation, and then when it drops to a lower energy level, the electrons in the compound will emit a photon. So basically that's what you see as light. But because the energy levels between the different states of excitation are fixed, you get a fixed amount of energy, right? And that basically means that you get a fixed color. So it's a fixed wavelength every time. White light is continuous spectrum, or the illusion to our eyes of continuous spectrum. The problem with this is that to change the color of luminous material, you dope it with different things, right? That's how you get blue loom, yellow loom, purple, all the other colors. But to get white is very, very difficult. And I think up to this point, every time we've asked Tritech, they're like, we can sort of do a white, but it's not a white. And
Does it have a typical cast when you ask them?
it's greenish. It's
Greenish.
Yeah. So we experimented with the raw compounds, did some further treatment on them, and basically this is white emission. It's weird because it almost looks as though it's not glowing. But we decided to leave the hands blue just so that there's some contrast and you can see that this is normal loom and this is the white loom.
Because in the photographs, it's very noticeable.
Yeah. Even live, it's noticeable.
And I think that the fact that you've taken sapphire and then metallicized and basically darkened the reverse of the sapphire means a lot in terms of the internal reflections.
Yes.
Like when you look at it, as you tilt it, you start to notice, hey, those markings are on the surface, but the black is on a whole different
It's
plane.
like a little box floating above the black at the bottom.
It's awesome.
We also don't
awesome.
anti-reflective treat the dial, so that you can clearly see the hands sit above the dial. But the crystal has got 5 layers of anti-reflective coating on both sides. So you can see that the hands sit below the crystal, but then the hands sit above the indices, which sit above the base of the dial.
So something I've also wanted to ask you on this, because it doesn't come up on your other watches. What is the meaning of the lines?
Oh, they just denote hour segments.
Right, but is there a logic to them? Like, for instance, this is part of that top part.
Yep.
So that's 1.
Yep.
This segment is obviously
So
2.
every time there's a break, it's 30 degrees, so that's 1 hour. The logic to this one is basically, I need you to be able to look at it and see that 1 and 2 and 3 are clearly different.
Yes, of course.
So the idea is 1 and 2 or 3 are clearly different, so you don't mistake them.
Okay.
And
So
then-
basically going from single to double narrow to double wide and back to single. And
But
you
not
look
quite, because then there's this whole element of you need to have some visual balance to it, because if I just repeated that pattern, it would look a bit odd. We tried. But there is some visual balance to it, but basically I want you to be able to differentiate the current hour from the preceding 2.
Yes,
Or the next 2.
of course. Because I find it it's just fun to look at.
Yeah.
And to try and, it's pattern, but it's not pattern.
Yes.
There's repetition,
Yes.
there's not repetition.
It's symmetric, but it's not symmetric. It's like
Yeah.
visually balanced, but it's not symmetric.
I really like it. It's actually one of my favorite parts of the watch. Very cool. Okay.
Yep.
So as we mentioned earlier in the video, this is here in Hong Kong right now. If you're interested, come by, see the pop-up, see the other watches.
You can take one home with you.
You can take one home
Yeah,
with
you
you.
can take one home with you. First time we've done it in a while.
Yeah, I love that. I mean, I think as the Ming sort of always available piece in the collection, this is the right one. It's awesome.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Gary.
Thank you.
All right, thanks for your
Thank you
time.
very much.
And unfortunately, I have to leave tomorrow, but the
Yes.
watch will stay.
Yes, absolutely. The watches
Safe
will
travels,
stay. Yeah, for the
and
next
we'll
few
see you again
days.
soon. Okay.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank
Thanks
you.
for watching.
Thank you.